Welcome back to the channel, everyone. This is Philip with Moralis.io. In this video, I'm going to show you how we can communicate with our dApp users. So let's say you've built this amazing dApp, right? You have thousands and thousands of users using your dApp every day, and but then you have no way to communicate with them. So they're using your app, but what if you want to get in contact with them? Well, that's impossible. You only have their ETH address. Maybe you don't even save that. But what if you only have their ETH addresses? Well, there's no way to send them anything. There's no way to inform them about changes and so on. So in this video, I'm going to show you how we can use Moralis in order to associate an email with their actual address from their MetaMask signing request, and then how you can use the tools from within Moralis to directly send emails when something interesting happens. All right. So from Moralis, you can configure to send an email, when they log in, when they register, when Tether prints new tokens, when they transfer tokens, when they have a certain balance. You choose the conditions, but you can send emails directly from your Moralis code, and that's super duper cool. So we're going to get started. First, of course, you need a Moralis account. Go to Moralis.io if you don't have it already, and set up a server. We've done multiple videos on that already, so check out all of our other videos if you need help setting up a Moralis server, but it's super easy. It's like one click. I'm going to start off by using the sign-in boilerplate that we have on our Moralis GitHub, which you can download or get from the link below. And all it does is this. So you have a simple web page with a big button where you can sign in with MetaMask. You get this sign-in request, you sign it, and it will console log the user is logged in, and it will console log an actual user object. Okay, that's all it does, and it looks like this. And what we want to do is that we want to make it possible for the user to input their email address as they sign up, save that in Moralis, and of course together with their user object, so that we have it tied to their Ethereum address. So what we need first is an actual input, right? So an input ID, email input, type email. So that's it. Now we get it in our actual UI. And then when they log in, we can grab, let's remove this alert. We can remove the console log too. And when they log in, grabbing the email from the input field. So document.get element by ID from the email input element, and we get the value by value. We can get the value from an input field, and then all we have to do is use our user object that we got from the authenticate call, and then say .set. We're going to set the property email, and we want to set it to the value from the email variable. Once we have that, we can just go user.save like that, and that's it. What this will do is it will grab the email from the input field and then set it to the user object and push the user object up to the Moralis cloud. And now we can actually try that. So this you need to be hosting it with a simple web server. I'm using this live server in Visual Studio Code. You can use a simple Python web server to do that, but it's hosted on localhost. So I'll go there, refresh. It will look like this. And here you can input any, you should use your email so that you actually get it to your email inbox later on. But I will fill in just a random email. And then you can click sign in with MetaMask. Sign it, and as long as we don't get any errors, which we didn't, we can go and check in our Moralis database. And now one of our users have this email address, so I just clicked refresh, and it now says test@gmail.com for my user. And with that done, we have the email. So now all that's left is to trigger an actual email send on whatever condition that we want. And in order to send emails through Moralis, you need to go back to your server homepage that looks like this, and this is the server that I want to use for this test. Email test is what I called it. In order to configure your email sending service for this Moralis instance, you click on view details and then on email configuration, and then here is where you can use your credentials from SendGrid. So right now we support in Moralis only one email provider, which is SendGrid. but it's very cheap. You can sign up for SendGrid. I mean, it costs nothing to sign up. You get a few emails, but if you want to use it in production, you need to pay a few bucks. But if you just use it for testing, you can sign up for free over at SendGrid. You can get your API key and the email you want to send emails from. Once you have that, you just click save. Your server will reboot. And once that's done, we can start to build the actual cloud function that will send the email. When that's done, you go into, oh, by the way, if you're looking at your server now, you're seeing that, hey, I don't have this email configuration. Make sure to update your server so that you're up to like at least version 1.13, I think it was, but the latest one. And then go into cloud functions. And here, you want to build a cloud function that looks something like this, okay? So here, I can show you how we send the email using Moralis. So this is the call to send the actual email. This I can remove. This is the query to send the actual email. You specify you specify the subject, you specify the HTML content. Here I've just put some text, but you can put HTML code in here as well. And here I get the email from the actual request, which will be the email of the user that calls this function. So this is a cloud function that's called send email, which I can call from wherever I want. I can call it from the client, but you can use this cloud code to send email in any scenario, not just in a cloud function that you call from the client side. You can also use it, for example, when you listen to changes in events, when you listen for changes in balances, on transactions, on any type of blockchain related activity, you can use that to send an email. We have an example application, for example, that uses it. So when, you know, Tether prints tokens, then we send an email to people. And that's super cool. But you can use it for whatever you want. But this is how we do it. And this is just a simple use case for when you can send an email. So this will send an email as long as we call this send email function. So we just need to call this from our client whenever a user signs in, and it will send an email to them. So let's do that. So we're back in our main.js file. And here, after we have saved the email for the user, we can go moralis.cloud with a capital C .run. We're going to run send email, camel case, and then an empty object as data. And that's it. So now, as soon as we sign in, it will send an email to the user that signed in, and the content will just be random in this case. But let's go back to our dApp here, refresh it, and now input our email once again. And this has to be an email where you can actually receive any type of email. I'm going to sign in with MetaMask. Sign that. And now, if we've done everything correctly, we just need to keep an eye in our mailbox, and we should get an email pretty soon from the email account that you configured it with. So here you can see the email that I got. I will cut in an image of it because I don't want to show my inbox, but this comes from the email that I've set up in SendGrid, which is actually our Ivan Tech Academy email, because that's the one I had set up. But you'll have to set up your own SendGrid account, but it's super easy, it costs nothing. And we'll be looking to add more ways to communicate with your users. Email is just one of them, and SendGrid is just one of the providers that we'll use. We'll continue to fill in with more providers as we go along. We're still in beta, but it's super cool that you'll be able to email your users to stay in contact with your dApp users if they want, of course. They should opt in, all of that stuff. But it's a unique possibility, and now you have the opportunity to try this, of course. So go to moralis.io, sign up for an account. It's completely free. Start developing dApps. And if you want to know more about smart contract development, dApp development, head over to the Ivan Tech Academy. And I hope you enjoyed this little example of how you can use Moralis. Thank you for watching. Make sure to like the video if you liked it, and subscribe to the channel.